So we had the last of our 3 field days today up at Croki in the Manning River. It completes our week of field days. We're down in Karua on Tuesday and Foster yesterday. The field days have been part of a Climate Ready Aquaculture project that Hunter LLS has been working on for the last couple of years, and that's funded by the Australian Government's National Landcare program. So we really appreciate that support, and that's really helping us work with commercial fishers and oyster farmers to adapt to climate change.
It's great to come along, learn what's going on in the industry, some of the new, maybe new practices, some of the research that's being done to really move the industry forward. And it's always great to catch up with old friends and fellow farmers.
I think the educational part of this is great. You know, land services have been a great ally to the fishing industry and obviously also to the oyster industry. And we're very thankful for that and that relationship we've had, because as an industry, as fishermen, I don't think we would have had the ability to get out and do that sort of testing. So it's really made things for us a step ahead, a lot easier.
It's been really great to see some of the conversations taking place and tap into some of that, sort of cutting edge research that's going on.
My project looks at overcatch, which is the catching of smaller oysters on commercial Sydney rock oysters, and how they respond to drying. So when they're removed from the water, how they respond to different temperature ranges, so that we can try and kill the overcatch and still look after the commercially important oysters. So with Local Land Services, we've installed 6 real-time data sensors around Wallace Lake that provide us currently with air and water temperature. We also have a weather station that provides us with rainfall, wind and humidity, and we're looking to install salinity loggers at all those sensors in the future.
Definitely excited about what the possibilities could be out of that research. It could really revolutionise the way that we do our drying.
I was quite interested in the oyster drying overcatch issue, because that's something we're dealing with on an ongoing basis, and as more of us move into floating basket technology, then it's increasingly becoming a big part of what we do. So that was a good part of today, and then obviously I'm always interested in environmental stuff and what we're doing to try and improve the catchment. So it's always good to have these days to touch bases on these issues.
I learned a lot about what's current in the scientific area, especially about different ways of monitoring the water quality. That's just through using environmental DNA. Also the value of ecosystems in the land form. So that's looking at, say you've got historic salt marsh areas and how that can tie into recreational fishing.
I think it's a really good opportunity for rec fishers, oyster farmers, commercial fishers to potentially work on projects into the future. I think we all want to see the end goal being a healthier ecosystem, and hopefully this allows us to recognise each other's faces and formulate some projects and good opportunities from here.
Yeah, so we've had researchers from the University of Newcastle, University of New South Wales, we had guys from University of Technology Sydney.
So the RAY project came up with discussions with the growers here in Wallace Lake. Offhand they mentioned that they had a problem with rays feeding off their oysters. We thought we could reduce that impact by using shark and ray deterrents, which are used in fisheries. What our research really showed is that the electrodeterrents offer a lot of potential for developing something for oyster growers. So the next steps are, we have a PhD student, Molly Grew, who's just starting, and her whole PhD is going to be centered around Wallace Lake, understanding the ray biology and ecology a bit better, and also trying to develop something a bit more robust for the growers.
Today's like a really good example of how we can help those industries move forward, I guess, and take on some of the new research findings, and it helps us understand where they're at and what kind of assistance they need and what information will help them make those changes.
That's been a really big change for us, is actually getting government people and government agencies like LLS on the ground, working with us, talking about issues both from just day-to-day oyster farming businesses to environmental impacts and all those other things that go with that.
I think that's part of our role with Local Land Services, to try and connect different groups together. So yeah, I'm hopeful we'll be able to develop some new projects and get some good industry buy-in. I think participants will hopefully got a better understanding of our programs and how they can get some assistance from us.
Anybody who wants a long-term future in this industry and wants a sustainable, viable business, then it's better if we're talking about outcomes and improvements.